Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. Today, we are ranking every MLS team's head coach. We're not going to do interim coaches, though, or recently fired coaches, just current normal head coaches. If you do enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been a while since we've done one of these ranking videos. And for every person who does like, comment, or subscribe, Pancake does get an extra treat, a pet, and a pat. Stick around for the end of the video, and I will include a clip of whatever Pancake is doing when I finish filming this video. She's actually hanging around right now. I don't know if she'll come over or not, but let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Starting with Caleb Porter, we're kicking it off with a bang. I think Caleb Porter and a couple other coaches on this list are reason that I included the past his prime tier. So our tiers are great coach, good coach, unproven, past his prime, and not ideal. I've politely titled the bottom tier that. Caleb Porter just, he's done a lot of great stuff in the league, definitely a storied coach, but I think, his time this year in New England has maybe shown that he might be a little bit past his prime. Nick Cushing, I have a weird soft spot for Nick Cushing because I made that video about him. I'm not actually exactly sure where I want to stick Nick Cushing. Maybe unproven, but thing is with this New York City FC team is there is a lot of talent in the team, but you got to remember how young of a team they are. They are the youngest team in the league. That's always going to be difficult for, honestly, any coach to really kick into gear. I'm between not ideal and unproven. I think I'm going to stick him in not ideal for now. I feel like if I put him in unproven, the New York City FC fans are going to come after me. So I'm just going to put him in not ideal for now. We got Sandro Schwartz, the New York Red Bulls coach. I'm tempted to put him in good coach because he hasn't really had a ton of success in Europe, but he has coached at that high level. I'm going to just probably put him in unproven for now. He's in between there or good coach. Oscar Pereira, I think, is a good coach. He's not having his best year with Orlando right now, but he has done a lot of good in his time at the club. We've got Jim Curtin, who I think is a great coach, legendary MLS coach. I really think a lot of the problems that Philadelphia are having right now are not on him, but are on the front office leadership. They definitely need to bring in some new players before I think any coach can be expected to get more out of that team. We got John Herdman with Toronto. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a very good coach, actually, to be honest, but definitely I don't think deserving of great coach status yet. He's done, I think, a pretty good job so far. Since coming into Toronto, they've played pretty well for what he's had to work with, and I think good things are going to continue to go their way. We got Josh Wolf, I think, is definitely not ideal right now for Austin. In his time with the club, he hasn't won anything. It's not looking like he's going to win anything. It's not an ideal fit right now. Well, I'll just say that. Chris Armas, I think, is maybe unproven. He had a really rough spell with Toronto, but so far with Colorado, he's actually done pretty well. So, we'll have to see how things end up going in his time there. I've got Ben Olsen, of course, was the DC United coach for a very long time, 10 years. Now coaching Houston Dynamo. He's, in his time with DC, I think he won an Open Cup, and I think that was it. He's already won an Open Cup with Houston, but I do think for the most part I like the soccer that he has them playing. I'm going to stick him in good coach. He can come off a little bit... what's the word? He can come off, a little bit prickly, I guess, in press conferences is one way of putting it. Probably not the nicest coach in the league, but I do think he is a good coach. Peter Vermees is probably a little bit past his prime. He's the longest serving head coach in the league. He's been with Kansas City since they were the Wizards. But I think he's a little bit, they've definitely slowed down a little bit recently this year. They're definitely struggling. Their roster's not great, though, but I do think he's a bit past it. Steven Cherundolo, I think, is a good coach. I think he's done a very good job so far with LAFC. He's currently a candidate for the USMNT job. No matter how you feel about that, he is definitely has that LAFC team kicking right now. Greg Vanney, probably just unproven. He has done a good job this year with the Galaxy. The last couple years he was in charge, not as much, but things are looking up. I'll just stick him on unproven for now. The definition of unproven, the Minnesota United head coach, whose name completely is Eric Ramsey. Eric Ramsey, definitely highly rated. He's had some definite highs so far in his time in charge, but he's also had some big time lows. Minnesota have had some bad games, but there is definitely a distinct style of play he's trying to implement. It's just going to take some time, and that Minnesota United roster isn't amazing either. So I think it's just going to take time. He's definitely unproven. Pablo Masterini, first of all, needs to bring the mustache back. I think that's imperative. If he brought the mustache back, I would have put him in great coach just for that. But for now, I'm going to put him in good coach. Actually, that might be a little bit. That might be a little bit too generous, but I'm going to commit to it just because he's done such a great job this year with Salt Lake. They're one of the best teams in the league. His time in Colorado, wasn't great, but I don't think he's really won anything yet. But I like Salt Lake a lot this year, and I want him to bring the mustache back. Bring the mustache back, Pablo, please. Phil Neville, I think, is not ideal. I'm not a big Phil Neville fan as a coach. I don't think he did a particularly good job, if memory serves correct, in his time coaching the English women's team. He didn't do a great job with Miami, and I don't think he's doing a good job with Portland right now. I think there is one player in particular who's definitely carrying that team and carrying Neville at the moment. I'm going to be a little bit biased here. These are all just kind of just how I feel. I'm just doing this off of vibes. Don't get too... Don't come at me too hard for some of these takes. I really like Troy Lissin. I really like him. I think I just gravitate towards managers who have a really distinct style of play, even if that style of play doesn't necessarily work all that well. And that has been a little bit the case so far this year for Troy. DC have had some really bad games, but they've had some really good games. I like their commitment to just going all out in the press. They are, I'm pretty sure, the oldest team in the league, too. So, and he's a very young coach. This is the start of a rebuild for them, and he should definitely be stuck in the unproven tier, but I really do rate a lot of the stuff that he's done so far. I think he's a really good coach. My most, psycho opinion in soccer right now is that he potentially, not for this probably current hiring cycle because he just got with DC, but I think one day this dude could coach the US-17 team. I really like Troy Lissin. Oh my gosh, what is the Sounders coach name? Schmetzer. Is it Brian Schmetzer, or am I forgetting his first name? All these guys' names are just melding together in my head. Brian Schmetzer, I think, is a great coach. He is the first coach to win the UCL. UCL. Man, it is too early to be filming this video. The CCL for an MLS team. He's won a couple MLS Cups. I think he's made it to a lot of MLS Cups. He's done a really, really good job with this Seattle Sounders. Laurent Courtois, I think, is definitely just a little bit unproven at the moment. His time with Montreal has just started. They've had some good games. They've had some bad games, but you can kind of definitely see the vision. Way too early to be filming this video. Way too early. Dean Smith, I think, is a good coach. I think he's a really good coach, actually. He's probably one of the biggest gets in terms of just the hiring cycle in general this last year, getting him to come to Major League Soccer. He didn't do the best job with Norwich, although in the time he was sacked, he did, I'm pretty sure, have them in a playoff spot, but he had a big falling out with the fans there. Things have gone well so far with Charlotte and with the fans. I think he's doing a pretty good job so far. Vanni Sartini is probably just unproven. Definitely an inexperienced head coach. He's had a lot of experience working different jobs in soccer on the technical side for one thing, but hasn't had a ton of experience as a head coach yet, but I think he's doing a decent job so far. Maybe I want to stick him in good coach. He did almost get Vancouver to the final last year, and I kind of just respect how honest and brutal he can be. I guess I'll stick him in good coach. That might be a little generous, but I do really like Vanni Sartini. I really like Frank Klopas too, but he's probably going to have to be a not ideal. I'm putting him here lovingly, if that makes any sense. He's seems like, from what I've heard, like one of the absolute nicest head coaches in the league. Super nice dude, Chicago legend. loves the city. He's been there forever. But is he like the right coach for the Chicago Fire team right now? I don't think so. Tactically, he's not a particularly adept manager. He's probably just not the ideal fit. He's really, I don't know if he really ever had much of a prime, but he is probably a little bit past his prime. I feel like he's just not ideal at the moment, but I do really like Frank Klopas, and I really respect him. So I'm putting this here lovingly. Tata Martino is a great coach. He's coached at the absolute highest levels. He's coached some terrible games this year. There's probably 3 or 4 games where, holy cow, the tactics were abysmal. Especially when he kept trying to make the back 5 work. But, he is a great coach, and he's done a good job so far this season. He's coached some great games, too. Wilfried Nancy is the best coach in the league. Hands down, just the highest level coaching in Major League Soccer at the moment. And then Pat Noonan I think it might be a little bit, I don't know, maybe he's a great coach. It might be it's probably a little bit too soon to stick him in great coach, just because he hasn't been around a ton, but he has accomplished quite a bit so far in his time with Cincinnati. He's really helped transform the team from being the absolute bottom of the bucket of the league into the Supporter Shield winner. So, and they're still, a really good team, even though they've lost a lot of talent this year. So I think he's done a very good job, and that is, I guess, where we're going to leave it on the tier list. So great coach, I got Jim Curtin, Brian Schmetzer, we've got Tata Martino, Wilfried Nancy. In good coach, I've got Oscar Pereira, John Herdman, Greg Olson. Every time I say one of these guys' names, I'm worried in my head that I'm saying the wrong name or something. They're all the managers' names blend together for me. Anyways, Steve Cherundolo, Paolo Mastroeni, bring back the mustache, Troy Lisson, Dean Smith, Vanni Sertini, Pat Noonan, Brian Schwartz. I've definitely said somebody's name wrong at some point, so I do apologize for that. Chris Armas, Greg Vanny, Eric Ramsey, Lauren Courtois. Past his prime, we've got Caleb Porter, Peter Vermees, and not ideal, I've got Cushing, Josh Wolf, Phil Neville, almost said Gary, and Frank Klopas. So that is a way too early in the morning filmed manager ranking tier list. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video in some capacity. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Every person who does so, Pancake gets a treat or a pet or a pat, an extra of those. And let's go ahead, let's cut to whatever Pancake's doing right now. I'm going to go film it right now, so let's go see what she's up to. What's up, Pancake? What are you up to? What's going on over here? What are you doing? Just sitting at the bottom of the stairs? It's kind of weird. How's it going? Oh, did you want to go outside? Is that what you want? Do you want to go outside? Okay, go outside. Do you want to go outside? Do you want to go outside? Oh, she doesn't want to go outside. You want to go on a walk? You want to go on a walk? Pancake need a walk. Does Pancake need a walk? Pancake want to walk. Let's go on a walk. You want to go? Let's go. Go, go, go. Pancake. 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 Yay. Good job. Go, go, go.